babies. I like this. This is cute.
I just finished the first episode of Oshi no Ko, and I'm at a loss for words. It's been a long time since an anime made me feel something, but Oshi no Ko did just that. This emotional roller coaster of a prologue is damn near revolutionary in its storytelling, and I'd argue this is a must-watch for every anime fan. My expectations were subverted more times than I can count. I honestly had no idea where the story was headed, or even what genre of anime it was. Despite having a more than questionable premise and a lack of a clearly defined genre, Oshi no Ko pulled me deeper and deeper into the world of love, lies, and parasocial relationships. I had heard rumblings of Oshi no Ko from manga readers, and I even went as far as to look up the synopsis for it. That brief description of the plot told me everything I needed to know. This was going to be a show targeted towards idol fans that catered to their weird fetishes and expectations. Or so I thought. I watched almost every first episode of this new spring season, and I made sure to skip Oshi no Ko because weird and kinky fan service isn't really my speed. Imagine my surprise when the first episode was ranked number 1 on my anime list. At that point, I knew I had missed something, and it was something big. Shame on me for judging a book by its cover, but come on. Gynecologist reincarnates as the son of the idol he was in love with. If that doesn't scream weird Freudian fan service, I don't know what does. It was only after watching that first episode that I realized that was the point. Oshi no Ko is a meta deconstruction of the Japanese entertainment industry with a focus on the lies they sell. Throughout the first half of the prologue, I got really conflicting vibes about the intended audience of the show. A lot of the scenes seemed to reinforce weird fan behavior while also criticizing it at the same time. The show was also blunt in its description of idols and their fans, repeatedly emphasizing that the idol industry is a lie. It also points out that idol fans want to be lied to, whether that's about the idol's relationship status or even their core personality. Ai herself said that lies are the most exquisite love, and that seems to sum up the Japanese idol industry perfectly. Fans want a curated object of worship that isn't anything less than perfect. The idol industry knows that isn't possible, which is why their business model is selling lies. The lie they sell is that your idol loves you, that she's single, and they subtly suggest that you could have a chance with her. It's capitalizing on male loneliness, which is at an all-time high in the age of the internet. For Ai as a character, she herself never felt any love growing up, so to her, lies are all she has. Even after the birth of her children, Ai can't bring herself to say, "I love you," just in case she finds out that she doesn't really mean it. It wasn't until the moment of her death that she had the courage to tell her kids she loved them, and only then did I discover what real love is. This complex web of love and lies creates a really interesting framework for the discussion of parasocial relationships. The fan that originally killed the MC, and later Ai herself, acted under the assumption that Ai was lying maliciously, which isn't a hard leap to make given what we know about the idol industry. Sadly for Ai, she was just trying to experience real love, and lying was the only way she knew how to get it. You could see the regret on the fan's face when she remembered his name and past gifts, and that ultimately led to him taking his own life as atonement. The question the show asks is, whose fault is it? It's easy to blame the overzealous fan, but if you look a little deeper, you might realize that the true culprit is the industry pushing and profiting off of these idols and the fans that support them. There's so much more to unpack here thematically, but now I'd like to transition to my thoughts on the show as a whole. For about the first 15 minutes of the prologue, I was pretty uncomfortable with the MC and his relationships with Sarina and Ai. I understand that that's not as taboo in Japan as it is in the West, but it still gave me bad vibes. Sarina's story was touching, but it felt like the MC was using it as an excuse to satisfy his own desires, something that is commented on by the nurse he worked with. After the MC is reborn born as Ai's child, the show kept me uncomfortable by catering towards more weird fetish content. I couldn't help but think of that one cutscene from Yakuza where they're all dressed up as babies. Just when I was thinking that I was tricked, and this was a weird fetish show the entire time, I made a comment about her manager's views.
嫌でちょね。日本の男は母親を幻想視しすぎて。
That made me realize that the show isn't pandering towards idol fans and creeps in general, but more so trying to address Japan's patriarchy and comment on how the times are changing. Oshi no Ko shows that having unrealistic expectations about an object of your affection will only lead to disappointment. As for the comedy in the show, I actually enjoyed it a lot. The scene where Ruby and Aqua pretend to be messengers of God was hilarious, and both characters really started to grow on me. Then the dancing babies scene happened, and I fell in love with the both of them. The dialogue was also really well written, using lots of metaphors and flowery language that beautifully expressed the themes of the show. There were a lot of quotes from Ai that left a lasting impact on me, which is impressive given her character is so young. The animation was also gorgeous, the colors really popped, and the expressiveness shown during the performances was really cool to see. Overall, the prologue of Oshi no Ko is one of the most interesting starts to an anime I've ever seen. With the focus moving back to Aqua and Ruby as teenagers, I'm really curious where the show is headed. Is it going to focus on their daily lives with the murder subplot in the background, or will finding their father be the central focus of the show? Regardless of which direction it takes, I am 100% aboard for the ride. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment below your thoughts on Oshi no Ko. I'm really curious what you guys think about this one. I'm your host Taylor, and I'll see you in the next episode of Jump Report.